Plays clock live here at Yellow Jacket Stadium. 10 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. It is Denham Springs 28, Central 20. Wildcats on their first possession of the third quarter. Gasso in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Bat the throw. Deep ball near side. Down the sideline. It's caught in stride. Touchdown, Wildcats. Marcus Watson hauls it in from 53 yards out. And just like that, Central can tie the game on the two-point conversion. What a throw by Max Gasso down the near sideline. Put it on the money for the 53-yard score. And the Wildcats will obviously go for two. Marcus Watson in the end zone for the first time this season. And now the momentum back on the Central sideline. Max Gasso in his first action has slung two touchdown passes, each 40-plus yards. Each down the sideline. And the Wildcats really benefiting from number 3 at quarterback right now. He stays in the game as the Wildcats will go for two. Only 3 seconds on the play clock. They need to hurry, and Coach Simino doing his best Olympic sprint down to the 20 to call timeout. Some confusion and some frustration on the Central sideline as they have to burn a timeout here. They're first in the second half, but not before Max Gasso finds Marcus Watson for a 53-yard touchdown strike. And the Wildcats have already eclipsed their point total from last week. That was a 20-13 win over De La Salle, 26 on the board here in Yellow Jacket Stadium. And this has been an entertaining game. We've had some big defensive plays. We've had fireworks on offense. We've had some great open field tackles in the special teams portion of the game. This is an entertaining football game and one that's fun to broadcast. Again, this is the 77th edition of the Amite River rivalry. These schools separated by just miles. And Central leads the all-time series 37, 35, and 4. Those are some tidbits between the break out of the timeouts. Both teams break the huddle as the Wildcats will go for two. Gasso under center now. Different formation in the eye, with Naps in the backfield. The fake to Naps. Gasso rolls out to his left, eyes down the field, puts it up for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage by Denham Springs. He had a man break open about 9 yards deep in the end zone, but Max didn't see him, couldn't get on the ball, tried to dump it off short, and it was broken up nicely by Jaden Washington. So the Wildcats get in the end zone, but they cannot tie the game with 10 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in this third quarter. It's Central 28. And Denham Springs 26. We're back after this short break. You're watching the Wildcats Network.
Here at Advanced Office Systems, we are a business technology company. We specialize in printers, network copiers, multifunction devices. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for all of your business technology needs.
Our corporate mission here at Advanced Office Systems is to develop loyal employees who build lasting relationships with our customers. In addition to that, our corporate vision here at Advanced Office Systems is to help people succeed. If we get it right with our employees, they will get it right with our clients. Being from Central, Advanced Office Systems would like to say, go Wildcats!
10 minutes, 6 seconds to play in this third quarter. Central on the board here in the second half as it's Denham Springs 28 and the Wildcats 26 after an unsuccessful two-point conversion. On the kickoff, it's Seals from the 20. He's got a seam up the middle. Seals into Central territory at the 49, and an excellent tackle made by Pedro de Sousa Costa, who shows some emotion after the play. And this is a former soccer player of Brazilian heritage who's learned the sport, become a fixture at kicker, and made a great tackle there. Like the emotion from de Sousa Costa, puffing his chest after taking down Trey Seals, and good thing he did. If not, that could have been 6 points the other way. So great hustle on special teams by Pedro de Sousa Costa. Still a great return for Trey Seals, however, and a first down Denham Springs in Central territory to start this drive. A lot of success for Denham Springs on the ground in that first half. And some clutch throws to boot from Dejon Goldman. Goldman in the shotgun on 1st and 10 with three receivers to the right side. Brenton Paul down to the left side, matched one-on-one with Mason Moore. Here's the snap back to Goldman. Blitz coming from Central. He gets away from it. Up the middle in between the hashes. Goldman is down to the Wildcat 40-yard line with a nice gain on first down. He was taken down by Devin Reed on the play on an official gain of 6 yards. 2nd and 4 for Denham Springs. Goldman breaks the huddle. DeJon Goldman in the gun with Tanner Kerner on his right hip. Here's the snap, handoff Kerner. Up the middle, now bounces it out to the left into the second level once again, and Kerner is down to the Central 34 before he's taken down by Lane Billings. And another big gainer for the Yellow Jackets, who are approaching the red zone. 1st and 10, Denham Springs. Ball rests on the Central 32. 9 minutes to play in this third quarter. It's Denham Springs 28 and Central 26. Both teams scoring touchdowns on their opening possessions. And now the Jackets looking for more as Goldman in the shotgun with 3 receivers to the right side. Paul to the left side. Kerner in motion towards the top. Here's the quick throw to Turner. And this time the Wildcats all over it as Kerner is taken down at the 30-yard line. An excellent open field tackle by, I believe it was Cam Rankin. And that's a great adjustment by Central in the halftime locker room because they ran that same exact play to the other side in the first half to a lot of success. But a nice job by the Wildcats to stay home and make the tackle there to set up 2nd and 7. Yellow Jackets break the huddle. DeJon Goldman in the shotgun with Kerner on his left hip. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Here's the handoff. Kerner up the middle, dragging Billings forward as Lane Billings got engaged with the running back Kerner and finally took him down at the 28. But credit Tanner Kerner for driving his feet and still making a 2-yard gain out of it. Officially a 1-yard gain down to the 29. So 3rd and 6 for Denham Springs, who converted a couple of 4th downs successfully in that first half. So you would think this is 4-down territory for Coach Brett Beard and company. Either way, 3rd and 6, Yellow Jackets from the Central 29. DeJon Goldman in the shotgun by himself. 3 receivers to the left. Now Hayden Ray motions over to that side. Here's Goldman, pump fakes. Now lets it go, middle of the field towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. He was trying to hit his brother, Deshaun Goldman. Once again, excellent coverage by the Wildcats as Devontae Sanders and Bo Hill were both in the area. Ball sailed out the back of the end zone, and now the Denham Springs offense stays out there for 4th down. 4th and 6 from the Central 29. Still 22 seconds on the play clock, and this is a no-doubter. They'll go for it. Coach Semino pumping up the Central side of the stands once again, asking for some noise. DeJon Goldman in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 tight ends to the left. Now Trey Seals motions back over to Goldman's left hip. Here's the snap, 4-man Central rush. Goldman under pressure, lets it go, and it's incomplete. Broken up at the 20-yard line on excellent coverage by the Wildcats. And it falls incomplete. Central football. Jake Jarrow, I believe, broke up the pass and frustrated with himself. He couldn't intercept it, but no harm, no foul. Still Wildcats football. Nice job by Jarrow to sit in the zone and jump in front of that route. The receiver was open, but not enough air on the football by DeJon Goldman. And it's Wildcats football. 1st and 10 from the Central 29. 7:22 to play. Yellow Jackets lead it 28-26. Here's the snap to Gasso. Stretch play to Billings on the right side, and he's got nowhere to go. Yellow Jackets deep all over that one to take him down at the 29-yard line. Excellent penetration by the combination of Bryson Smith and Caden Allen. Allen's been all over the field tonight for Denham Springs. We've said his name multiple times. May have lost yardage there. 2nd and 11. Ball on the Central 28 now. Billings still in the backfield with Gasso, who's in the shotgun. Here's the hip-high snap. 3-man rush for Denham Springs, and the throw between the hashes incomplete. A little behind Ty Williams as it still hit him on his outside shoulder, but timing was off. Cedric Polk was in coverage for Denham Springs, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and 11 for the Wildcats. Off the turnover on downs. Central trying to stay on the field as Gasso is in the shotgun with Shane Brown on his left hip. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Here's the snap, a little low. Gasso controls it, dumps it off to Brown, who can't make the catch. It was broken up beautifully by Caden Allen. Once again, and now a late flag. A flag about 30 yards behind the play thrown by the bat judge, who was nowhere near it, and I have no idea what they'll call here. Could be a killer for Denham Springs if it's on the defense, but Yellow Jacket defenders motioning over towards the other side as if it'll go on Central. And if it's before the play, Denham Springs can choose to accept this and push them back on a 3rd and long, or they can decline it and keep it 4th down. We'll see what head coach Brett Beard decides to do. It is a penalty against the Wildcats, and it will be enforced. Stays 4th down. Dead ball. Personal foul is the official call. So each team has had at least one 15-yarder on a dead ball personal foul, and that's big for field position's sake, as Dill will now have to kick it out of his own end zone. About 3 yards deep in the end zone. Line of scrimmage at the Central 13. Kerner back deep for Denham Springs. Here's the snap back to Dill. It's a little low. He fields it off one hop. Nice job by Dill, but he shanks it a little towards the right side, and it takes a nice Wildcat bounce. Very fortunate for Central. It hit the grass at around the 39 and rolled all the way down to the Wildcat 48, where Denham Springs will take over. With 6 minutes, 30 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, it's Denham Springs 28 and the Wildcats 26. Keep it here.
Here at Advanced Office Systems, we are a business technology company. We specialize in printers, network copiers, multifunction devices. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for all of your business technology needs.
Our corporate mission here at Advanced Office Systems is to develop loyal employees who build lasting relationships with our customers. In addition to that, our corporate vision here at Advanced Office Systems is to help people succeed. If we get it right with our employees, they will get it right with our clients.
Denham Springs football after the punt. Yellow Jackets lead 28-26 with the football. 6:30 to play in the 3rd. Here's several fake handoffs, and they finally give it to Paul, who's taken down well in the backfield all the way down at the 45-yard line. Big Jamarian Jackson gets him on the big loss, and it was at least 2 fake handoffs by Goldman. May have been a 3rd. Either way, the Wildcats D is all over it. And it's a loss of 7 on the 1st down play to bring up a 2nd and 17. DeJean Coleman has thrown 2 touchdowns and ran for another. There's a timeout on the field with 6 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. Denham Springs 28, Central 26. Back after this on the Wildcats Network.
Here at Advanced Office Systems, we are a business technology company. We specialize in printers, network copiers, multifunction devices. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for all of your business technology needs.
Our corporate mission here at Advanced Office Systems is to develop loyal employees who build lasting relationships with our customers. In addition to that, our corporate vision here at Advanced Office Systems is to help people succeed. If we get it right with our employees, they will get it right with our clients. Being from Central, Advanced Office Systems would like to say, go Wildcats!
Denham Springs football here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium. 6 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Yellow Jackets lead 28-26. DeJean Goldman in the shotgun takes the snap. The quick out to Kerner is incomplete. Big Jamike Garrett was lurking anyway, as the Yellow Jackets have ran that swing play several times, at least 3. And that's the first time the timing was off on the throw from Goldman. So that'll stop the clock with 5:56 to play in this third quarter. Yellow Jackets break the huddle with Goldman in the shotgun. Hayden Ray lined up as a tight end to the left. 2 receivers on that side of the formation. 2 receivers to the right side also. Trey Seals motions over towards Goldman. Here's Goldman back to throw. He's under some heat. He lets it go middle of the field, and it's snagged in between the hash marks right at the 45-yard line. Deshaun Goldman makes the catch in between 2 Central defenders for a 10-yard gain and a first down, Denham Springs. Short. They ruled him short. I thought for sure he got there, but less than a yard shy of that marker. 4th and 5, they'll say. That's the line of scrimmage. My bad. Great tackle. As I believe that's Womack back at his own 10. Punt in the air. And it'll take a couple of bounces for Denham Springs. Fielded by Keithan at the 5. Risky move. He got maybe a yard out of it. And it is Central football from their own 5-yard line. 5:07 to play in this third quarter. It's Denham Springs 28, the Wildcats 26. Back after this on the Wildcats Network. Wildcat football after the punt. Max Gasso in the pistol formation. In front, I believe that's Rose. Tristan Rose, right side, now cuts it back towards the middle. Flag down from the secondary as Rose had nowhere to go. Nice job by the Denham Springs D-line. Dredden Goldman. How many Goldmans do they have? Made the stop. Still waiting confirmation on the penalty, as the Denham Springs D-line has been very effective in this game. Wildcat runners have had trouble getting to the second level the entire game. Max Gasso has made a few nice throws. Long touchdown passes to Brody Dill and Marcus Watson. As the penalty was on Central, it was a holding call, and it'll back them up. Or it'll be second down and long, 10+. Here's Gasso in the shotgun again. Lets it go. Deep ball down the sideline. Looking for Watson again, who lays out at the 45 and can't make the catch. He had a step, at least a half a step, on both Trenton Motire and Quentin Clay. And it'll bring up third down for Central. Max Gasso not afraid to let that thing rip, and he almost had another big one there. Just a little too much mustard on the throw. And now a 3rd and 12 situation. Ball on the Wildcat 4-yard line. Max Gasso in his own end zone. In the shotgun with Tristan Rose on his left hip. 3 receivers to the right side of the formation. 4-man front for Denham Springs. Here comes the 4-man rush. Gasso flushed out to the right side. His eyes stay down the field. He lets it go for Womack, who makes the adjustment. Was he able to make the catch? They say yes at the 22-yard line. What a job by Gasso to keep his eyes down the field and make an excellent throw on the run to Womack. It's a gain of 17, first down Wildcats on 3rd and 12. Gasso barking directions at his O-line, lines up in the shotgun. Rose on his left hip. Here's the snap, handed to Rose up the middle. He's got a seam this time, and he bowls over a man at the 25 and gets a few extra yards out to the 28-yard line of Central. Gain of 7. To set up a 2nd and 3. And that time Rose had a little bit of real estate. The Denham Springs D-line has been getting penetration all game. Can the Wildcats get their run game going? Here's a shotgun snap to Gasso. Another handoff to Rose up the middle. He's met right at the line of scrimmage. Nice run fit by Cedric Polk, who made first contact for Denham Springs, and they'll rule him down at the 28, maybe a gain of 1 on the play. To bring up a big third down. Polk and Allen, very effective for the Denham Springs defense against the Central run game here tonight. Wildcats have a 3rd and 4, less than 20 seconds on the play clock. Max Gasso gets instructions from his sideline. He's in the shotgun with Tristan Rose on his right hip. 2 receivers to the left. Keith and Womack lined out to the right side. Here's a snap to Gasso. 5-man Denham Springs blitz. It's Max taking off himself and bowling forward down to the 34-yard line for a first down, Wildcats. Nice move by Max Gasso on the designed run before he's finally taken down by Dylan Johnson. So the Wildcats keep the chains moving. 3:10 to play in this third quarter. It is Denham Springs 28, Central 26. Gasso in the shotgun again. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Tristan Rose in the backfield on his right hip. Cullen as an offset back. Here's the snap, and it's intercepted. Throw across the middle is picked off at the 30-yard line. It is Yellow Jackets football with the flag after the interception. Caden Allen jumped the route. Max Gasso did not see him, and he made a big defensive play for Denham Springs. We are awaiting the call as there was a flag down. It looked like it was thrown after the interception in real time, but we await confirmation. The Central offense is staying on the field, and it looks like it's on the Jackets. Roughing the passer is the call. What a break for the Wildcats, as Gasso made an ill-advised throw that was picked off by Allen, but a late hit on the Yellow Jackets will give Central 15 free yards all the way out to their own 48. Que salvada, as I say on Sundays. Gasso in the shotgun. Shane Brown, a new running back in the game, on his left hip. 3 receivers to that side of the formation. Here's Gasso. Hands off to Brown up the middle. Nice block by Harris, but a nice job by the Yellow Jacket defense. And Cedric Polk, who came over from the other side, disengaged from his block and took down Shane Brown in between the hash marks after no gain. 2nd and 10. Wildcats getting a little bit more push on their run game on this drive, but credit the Denham Springs D-line, making it really tough to get to the second level. And that was the case there. 2:19 to play on the clock. Gasso in the shotgun with Brown. Trips down to the right side of the formation. Here's Gasso. Hands off Brown. Makes a juke move middle of the field and plows his way forward into Denham Springs territory. Second effort on the play will get it all the way down to the 48-yard line on a moderate gain, maybe 4 yards to set up third down. Third down and about 6 or 7 for the Wildcats. Officially 6 on the 48. Another big third down opportunity here, as Gasso has 18 seconds in the shot clock, now breaks the huddle. He's in the gun with 3 receivers to the left, 1 tight end to the right. Shane Brown on his right hip. 4-man front for Denham Springs. Here's the snap. Gasso back to throw. He pumps. Now he escapes to his left. He's got a lot of running room, and he'll take off across the 45 down to the 42. Very close to that first down marker. It'll depend on the spot. Nice improvisation by Max Gasso to get down close to that first down marker. Looks a little short initially. Still waiting on a signal. And they say he's got enough for the first down. Late indication from the referee. I'm pretty sure the one on this side wanted to keep it 4th down. Either way, they too reset the numbers. 1st and 10 Wildcats from the Denham Springs 48. Trailing 28-26. Less than a minute to play in this third quarter. Gasso in the gun. Claps his hands emphatically. Gets off the snap, and now Brown, right side, gets a nice block from Williams. A flag is down. May have been an illegal block, as that is thrown in the area of holding. Brown burrows his way down to the 31, but I think this one's coming back. We await the penalty. Is a lot of laundry from both teams here tonight, and a lot of stoppages of play. We'll see who they get here. Central's only down here because of a roughing the passer penalty that wiped out a Denham Springs interception, and this is a hold on the Wildcats. So it'll stay first down, but they'll bring this football all the way back to midfield, right at the 50-yard line. A long drive for the Wildcats. First and 18 from midfield. Gasso in the shotgun with Billings on his left hip. Here's the snap. Gasso hands off to Lane, who follows his blocks. He's into the second level, and Lane Billings across the Denham Springs 45 down near the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a second and 10 after the gain of 8. Billings has already gotten in the end zone tonight, and he stays in the game with Gasso, who's in the shotgun. And a player shaken up for Denham Springs, at least a player on the ground at the 34-yard line. That looks like Jaden Washington. They'll check on him momentarily, and we'll take a short break. You're watching the Wildcats Network. Second and 10 Wildcats from the Denham Springs 42. Gasso in the shotgun with Naps. Here's the fake to Naps. Max lets it go deep side for Dill, who could not catch it. He did reel it in, but the referee says out of bounds. I don't know about that one. In real time, it looked like Brody Dill hauled it in with at least 1 foot, but the referee says out of bounds on another beautiful throw down the near sideline by Max Gasso. And you hear the boos on the central side of the stands. They rule it incomplete. Would have been a big gainer. Now it's 3rd and 10. What a paradigm shift. From the Denham Springs 42, it's starting to get loud inside this stadium. As they're on their feet for the defense, Gasso in the shotgun with Naps. Here's Max, back to throw. 4-man rush for Denham Springs. Throw across the middle is incomplete. Almost intercepted. At the 25, Brody Dill was the nearest Denham Springs receiver, but it was right in the hands of Trenton Matoyer, who couldn't hang on. And now a precarious situation for the Wildcats, 4th and 10. Ball in Denham Springs 42. Offense is still out there as there's 20 seconds on the play clock. And a stoppage of play as a Denham Springs player is shaking up / cramping at the 29-yard line. That looks like Caden Allen. Or no, Allen's on his feet trying to get a sight line on the number here. But it looks like it's just a cramp, and this player will be okay. Could be a benefit for Central, who gets time to drop a play now, as the Wildcats do not need to use a timeout. 2 timeouts left for Denham Springs, 3 left for Central. Long game here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium as there's still 13 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. And this has been a back-and-forth affair here in the 77th edition of the Amite River rivalry. Yellow Jackets trying to get revenge after Central beat them 31-6 last season. That's why it's on the trophy's on this side of the stands, but Denham Springs looks to change that tonight, as the Wildcats do send the special teams unit out on 4th and 10 from the Yellow Jacket 42, so maybe a chance to pin them deep here, as Denham Springs does not have a returner on the field. Brody Dill is standing at the Central 44, line of scrimmage to Denham Springs 43. The signal, better snap this time to Dill, who gets it in the air on an angle towards the right sideline, and it'll land out of bounds inside the Denham Springs 20. Officially, they'll spot it 1st and 10 at the Yellow Jacket 15. So the lead and the football for Denham Springs with 6 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. It's Central 28, the Yellow Jackets 26. We'll keep it here as we're seconds away from the 4th quarter. New stadium for Denham Springs. Believe it's the 3rd season in this new facility. Very nice press box on the visitor side. as they've taken good care of us. Shout out to Mitch Covington and John Fine and Josh Ward, the play-by-play voice of the Jackets, who came and told us hello before the game. Those guys do a great job on the other side of the stands. 1st and 10 for their team with 6 ticks left in this third quarter. DeJean Goldman under center with Brenton Paul in the backfield. Here's Paul up the middle, nowhere to go. He's stacked up 2 or 3 yards deep in the backfield. Multiple white jerseys, including Devin Reed, who made first contact for Central, and that's an exclamation point on the last play of the third quarter. 4's up here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium. We head to the final 12 minutes of play. It is Denham Springs 28, the Wildcats 26. Back with a good finish after this. You're watching the Wildcats Network. We have made it to the fourth quarter here at Yellow Jacket Stadium. It's a good one in the 77th edition of the A-Meet River Rivalry. 2nd and 10, Denham Springs from their own 15 with a 2-point lead to start the quarter. Here's a handoff to Kerner up the middle, dragging Central defenders across the 20-yard line, and he's down to the 21 as a couple of Wildcats were in on that tackle. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Ball at the 20 of Denham Springs. They need to get to the 25, so 3rd and 5 for the Yellow Jackets. An opportunity perhaps for the Wildcats defense is DeJean Goldman in the shotgun. Kerner on his left hip and big Hayden Ray behind him. Here's the snap. It's Ray up the middle, breaks a tackle and lunges forward to the 24. I'm not sure he got there. Nice shoestring tackle made by Jamike Garrett, but he's shaken up at the tail end of that play. And he laid out to make the tackle, but unfortunately writhing at the 17-yard line, and the training staff will check on him. They do stop Hayden Ray a yard short of the 1st down. And if they choose to go for it, they might give it right back to 44 in this situation. So they'll check on the injured player here as there's 11 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the game. Denham Springs 28, Central 26. DeJean Goldman has thrown 2 touchdown passes to his twin brother, Deshaun Goldman. Also ran for 1. And the twin brothers, who also feature on Denham Springs basketball team, with a good effort tonight, as Jamike Garrett is trotting off the field under his own power. That's great news for the Wildcats. He made a big 3rd down stop as well, and he earns a well-earned break. So 4th down, Denham Springs. Brett Beard is not afraid to go for it in these situations. I've seen it before, and we'll see what they choose to do here. High risk, high reward. Denham Springs, who keeps their offense out there. 4th and 1 from their own 24. They break the huddle. Goldman under center. He takes it himself, and he pushes forward for Denham Springs' 1st down. Out to the 26, a gain of about 2 for Goldman. More than enough for the 1st down. Good play call by the Denham Springs coaching staff to gain 2 and a key 1st down. Jamike Garrett is back in the game for Central. Good news for the Wildcats. 1st and 10, Denham Springs, however. 10 minutes, 50 seconds to play in regulation. It's the Yellow Jackets 28 and Central 26. DeJean Goldman under center. I formation with Ray and Paul. Brenton Paul gets it in the backfield, and he was almost taken down 2 or 3 yards deep. Dragged his feet forward, dragged a couple Central defenders forward, but still no gain on the play. Nice job by Devin Reed and Lane Billings, who stayed engaged and brought him down. Second down now for Denham Springs. Gain of 2 officially on the play to set up a 2nd and 8. DeJean Goldman under center. Brenton Paul, who has a touchdown catch, is behind him as the lone back. 3 receivers to the left, including Ray. Here's the snap, the handoff to Paul up the middle, right up the A-gap. He finds a seam and is down to the Wildcat 34-yard line. Tackle was made by Mason Moore to limit the damage. A little short of the first down, but it is 3rd and 2 for Denham Springs. Another short yardage situation for head coach Brett Beard. Denham Springs 28, Central 26. Clock live with 9 minutes, 35 seconds left in regulation. Yellow Jackets break the huddle. Goldman under center with Tanner Kerner as the lone back. Ray is the tight end to the left side of the formation, and some pre-snap movement. Looks like the Wildcats jumped. Were they drawn offsides? And no, immediately the offside signal comes from the referee, and it's a free first down for the Yellow Jackets. That'll make it 1st and 10, Denham Springs from the 40-yard line. 9 minutes, 23 seconds to play in regulation. After the penalty, Denham Springs gets a gratis first down, and the clock will stay running, advantageous for the home team. Good showing on both sides of the stands. A beautiful night here in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Both teams looking to move to 2-0 on the season. As Goldman under center, Brenton Paul in the backfield. Here's Paul up the middle. He's got nowhere to go, taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a half a yard. Nice job by Rankin to make the tackle. Had assistance on the play from Alex Stewart to bring up 2nd and 9. Stewart's had a couple of nice run fits tonight after missing last week's game. And does the Wildcat defense have a big play up its sleeve? Could use one to flip the momentum here. 2nd and 9, Denham Springs, ball on the Jacket 41. Brenton Paul in the backfield with Goldman. 2 receivers to the left. Here's the snap, handoff. Paul up the middle, nowhere to go, and taken down near the line of scrimmage for no gain. Nice job by the Wildcat defense. And Reed, who was in there with Stewart, to make the tackle. Big opportunity for Central's defense here. 3rd and 9, Denham Springs. 20 seconds on the play clock as DeJean Goldman gets instructions from his sideline. Play clock near 10 here. Denham Springs may need to burn a timeout. And this is a big spot here for the Yellow Jackets, who look to keep the chains moving on 3rd and 9. And they'll call for time with 1 second on the play clock. 7:34 to play in this game. It's Denham Springs 28, the Wildcats 26. Back after this on the Wildcats Network. Big 3rd down for Denham Springs here. It's 3rd and 9 from the Jacket 41. Denham Springs leads 28-26 with 7:34 to play. DeJon Goldman in the shotgun with Kerner. Here's the snap back to Goldman. He's under pressure. He lets go of a deep ball, middle of the field, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Trey Seals inside the Wildcats 25. Seals had a step on the DB, and it was an excellent throw by Goldman. But Seals, who has made a couple of big plays in this game, not able to hang on. And what a break for the Wildcats, who will get the football back and could really use some points. As after the first possession of the third quarter, the Central defense has kept the Yellow Jackets off the scoreboard. Can their offense take advantage? In the game to punt Wilson. The snap back to Wilson is almost blocked, but he gets it away. Womack fields it at the 22, looks for a block, runs down the sideline, breaks a tackle, and Keithan lowers his shoulder and is forced out of bounds at the Central 32. 1st and 10 Wildcats from there. Big drive for Central here with 7:17 to play. Denham Springs leads it 28-26. Alexander Stewart hobbling a little bit as he comes off the field. And he'll get some medical attention as Central's offense back out on the field. They got it 1st and 10 from the 32. And a penalty after the play will push it back 5 yards, and it'll be 1st and 10 Central from the 22. Wildcats looking to get back on the scoreboard. Marcus Watson hauled in a big 60-plus yard touchdown from Gasso for the Wildcats' last score. And they look for points here. Gasso in the shotgun with Shane Brown on his right hip. 2 receivers to the right, 1 offset back to that side. Here's Shane Brown on the delayed handoff, and Shane is twisted down near the hash marks at the Central 25. Nice tackle by Caden Allen, who's had a great game for Denham Springs tonight. Also had an interception that was wiped off the board due to a roughing the passer penalty. Gain of 2 officially for Shane Brown on that play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 8, same formation. Gasso in the gun with 3 receivers to the right. Womack to the left side. Here's Gasso back to throw. Quick throw across the middle is incomplete. He was trying to hit Ty Williams in between the hashes of the 30, but the throw was a little low. Nice coverage on the play by Cedric Polk as well. And that'll bring up 3rd and 8. Central has not been able to get the run game going on 1st and 2nd down, and they've been behind the sticks for these 3rd down opportunities, and the Yellow Jackets D is taking advantage. Big spot here, 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats from their own 24. 12 seconds on the play clock for Gasso, who's in the shotgun. Brown on his left hip. Here's the snap. Gasso back to throw. He's got some time. Now he rolls out to his right. Keeps his eyes down the field. Sips it. Complete. Out to the 35 to Keithan Womack. 1st down for the Wildcats on a gain of 11. Max Gasso improvising once again, rolling out to the right and finding Keithan on a laser and a gain of 11. Gasso keeps the drive alive for Central. And here come the Wildcats with the tempo. Gasso in the shotgun with Brown once again. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. That's Womack. Here's a snap. Gasso lets it go, middle of the field, and in stride, he hits his receiver into Denham Springs territory. It's Adam Cullen out of the backfield on a gain of 16. Max Gasso starting to find a rhythm, and this drive has found the Denham Springs side of the field. 1st and 10 from the Yellow Jacket 47. 6 minutes, 14 seconds to play in regulation. Yellow Jackets lead 28-26. Gasso in the shotgun, 2 receivers to each side. Here's the snap to Max. Here comes the Denham Springs blitz. Gasso has to let it go. He does. Middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That was a dangerous play. That was almost intercepted. First, it was Trendon Matoyer who got a hand on it, and then Angel Moro almost intercepted it off the ricochet. Thankfully, the ball hits the turf, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Timeout on the field for hydration with 5:56 to play. It's Central 26, Denham Springs 28. Back after this on the Wildcat Network. 2nd and 10 for Central from the Denham Springs 48. Wildcats trail 28-26 with under 6 minutes to play. Big spot for Max Gasso, who's in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Here comes the Denham Springs blitz. Gasso is under some heat. He escapes to the right side, somehow still on his feet. Let's go of a deep ball down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Almost a leaping catch at the 20-yard line as a Wildcat player is shaken up. That would be Keithan Womack, who's back up on his feet. And Keithan almost made an unbelievable play coming back for that football and scooping it out of the air, but a mass of humanity, 2 Denham Springs players right there to separate him from the ball. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 10. They're getting rowdy on the Denham Springs side of the field. Yellow Jackets looking for the upset in their first win over Central since 2021, a game that I was also broadcasting. Big 3rd and 10 from the 48. 30 seconds on the play clock for Max Gasso, who breaks the huddle. He is in the shotgun with Shane Brown on his left hip. 3 receivers to the right side, including Womack and Dill. 5-man Denham Springs D-line. Here's the snap. Gasso back to throw. He's under pressure. He rolls out to the left side, and he's finally taken down at the 46-yard line. A big sack for the Yellow Jackets and Jaden Washington. Max Gasso did all he could, but eventually ran out of real estate and got taken down for the big loss. 4th and long now for Central, who has a decision to make. And a Wildcat player shaken up at the 48. So credit the Denham Springs defense. They've made it really hard for Central to get anything going on the ground. And they've gotten after Max Gasso as well, but he's made some excellent plays outside the pocket to try to get Central back on the scoreboard. But a nice defensive play on 3rd down as Jaden Washington takes him down for what's officially a loss of 8, it appears. That would make it 4th and about 18 for Central. Wildcats do have 2 timeouts remaining, as do the Yellow Jackets. And Brody Dill's been pretty effective in the punt game this season, including tonight, so you would think they'd try to pin him back here, but a decision coming up nonetheless for head coach David Simino and OC Zach Morris, as the Central player is still shaken up at midfield, trying to get a sight line on a number here. And Coach Simino's out to check on him as well. Denham Springs 28, Central 26, with 5 minutes, 28 seconds to play in this 77th edition of the Amite River rivalry. And this looks fairly serious, unfortunately. Why don't we take a quick break while they check on the Central will punt it away here on 4th and 16 from their own 44. Brody Dill will try to pin him back deep as Denham Springs does not have a returner in the game. Clean snap to Dill, who gets off the punt, angling towards the middle of the field. Marvin Joseph down there to let it roll. It'll take a Wildcat bounce inside the Denham Springs 15 and all the way down to the Yellow Jacket 13-yard line. 1st and 10, Denham Springs, who has a 2-point lead and a football. They'll try to bleed some clock here with 5 minutes, 3 seconds remaining. Still 2 timeouts at Central's disposal. No 2-minute warning / timeout on this level, so time is of the essence for the Central defense here. And both defensive lines have been fairly effective against the run here in the second half. Credit both quarterbacks for making some big throws on the run and putting some points up for their team, but both run defenses have been stingy in the second half of play. Let's hope that continues for Central here as the Yellow Jackets start their drive. 1st and 10 from their own 13. DeJean Goldman, the senior quarterback, looking for one of the bigger victories in his prep career. He's in the shotgun with Brenton Paul and Ray behind him. Here's the fake to Ray. Throw over the middle is incomplete. Broken up beautifully by Bo Hill. Perfect timing on the play by Hill, who separates Trey Seals from the football. And that's extra big because it stops the clock with 4:58 to play. Bo Hill, the first-year starter, flying around the safety position. And we've called his name a lot here in the first 2 weeks of the season. Big play there to set up 2nd and 10. Brenton Paul in the backfield with DeJean Goldman, who's in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 tight end that way. A penalty before the play. And the Wildcats D pointing the other direction. Still waiting on an official call. And that would be big if it is on the offense. And it appears that way. 5 yards back as they got a little over-anxious on the Denham Springs O-line. And that'll set up 2nd and 15. Ball now inside the Denham 10, all the way back at the Yellow Jacket 8. DeJean Goldman in the shotgun again. Brenton Paul on his right hip. Here's the snap. It's the Paul up the middle. Thought it was a fake, but it was Brenton trudging forward, maybe a gain of 2 on the play before he's met by a host of white jerseys, including Jamike Garrett, who's perfectly fine after a stinger earlier. And that'll bring up a big opportunity for the Central defense. Central's band playing Little Wayne's right above it as they're on their feet on this side of the stands. 3rd and 18 for Denham Springs. DeJean Goldman in the shotgun by himself. 3 receivers to the right. Hayden Ray to the left side. Now they motion Ray over to the other way. Here comes the Central blitz. Goldman under pressure. His throw complete down to the 30 and all the way down to the Denham Springs 33. First down for the Yellow Jackets. What a play by DeJean Goldman, who felt the rear side pressure, got away from it, and made the big throw. Wow. So Denham Springs converts on 3rd and long, and the clock is still going. Under 4 minutes to play here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium. What a play by DeJean Goldman, who's had a few of them tonight. And now he's under center in front of Brenton Paul. 2 receivers to the right, 2 tight ends to the left. It's Paul up the middle, trying to get through to the second level, and he can't. Taken down at the Yellow Jacket 35 after a gain of 2. And as of now, the Wildcats are keeping those 2 timeouts in their back pocket. Yellow Jackets had a 3rd and 18 and convert on the big play from DeJean Goldman. Clock still going. 20 seconds on the play clock. 3:15 on the game clock. 2nd and 8 for Denham Springs. Ball on the Yellow Jacket 35-yard line. DeJean Goldman breaks the tackle. He lines up under center, I formation in front of Ray and Paul. Here's the snap. Brenton Paul up the middle. He has nowhere to go. He was met immediately by Lane Billings, who got there first for Central and got some help on the tackle. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play at most. And it'll bring up another 3rd down. Gave him a gain of 2 officially. 3rd and 6 for Denham Springs. Ball on the Wildcat are on the Yellow Jacket 36. And the Yellow Jackets taking their sweet time with 14 on the play clock, 2:30 on the game clock. They're on their feet on the central side of the stands. The Wildcats need a stop. DeJon Goldman under center. I formation in front of Hayden Ray and Brenton Paul. 8-man line of scrimmage. Timeout for Denham Springs as Brett Beard will talk it over with his crew. 2:16 to play. Big 3rd and 7 coming up for Denham Springs, who leads 28-26. Back after this on the Wildcats Network. And this could be the game. 3rd and 7, Denham Springs. From their own 37, up 2:16 to play in regulation. DeJon Goldman under center in front of Paul. Penalty on the play, right on the snap. Here's the quick out to Ray, and it's incomplete at the 40-yard line. Jake Jarrow had the coverage for Central. What will the penalty be? After the snap, looks like they might get the Wildcat for an offside here. Or no, an illegal shift, it looks like, is the signal. Declined. 4th down. So the Wildcats get the 3rd down stop they needed. And here come the Yellow Jacket special teams. Have to watch out for a fake here. With 2 minutes, 11 seconds to play, the Wildcats use their second timeout to stop the clock. Got to be aware for a fake here is Luke Wilson on the field for Denham Springs. Keith and Womack bat deep for Central. Here's the snap to Wilson, who gets it off. A knuckleball towards the left, fielded by Womack at the 30. Breaks a tackle, breaks another. Here comes Keithan down the sideline at the 50. Finally forced out of bounds in Denham Springs territory. He was one broken tackle away from taking that one to the house, but Keithan Womack runs it all the way back to the Denham Springs 39. And the Wildcats need a field goal to win the game. They play a 1st and 10 from the Denham Springs 39 with 1 minute, 57 seconds to play. What a finish here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium. The 77th edition of the A-Meet River Rivalry will come down to the wire tonight. Mario Jerez here on the call as the Wildcats look for a good finish and a key win on the road. Max Gasso in the shotgun for 1st and 10. Shane Brown behind him. Brody Dill in motion. Here's the snap. Brown left side with the hole. He's down the sideline inside the 35 and all the way down to the Denham Springs 32-yard line. Nice gain on 1st down and an excellent push by the left side of the Central O-line as the clock does stop with 1 minute, 53 seconds to play. And maybe after a long 3 quarters and 3 3/4 quarter, maybe this Central O-line starting to wear him down. Shane Brown stays in the game for 2nd and 4 from the 33. Gasso in the shotgun. Here comes the Jacket blitz. Deep ball, middle of the field towards the end zone. Is caught inside the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown! Wildcats! Marcus Watson on the throw from Max Gasso to put Central on top with 1 minute, 45 seconds to play. What a catch from Marcus Watson, who snagged it out of the air around the 5-yard line, bowled the defender over, and scored to put Central back on top. With 1:45 to play, here comes Pedro de Sousa Costa for the extra point. Marcus Watson on the 40-yard strike from Max Gasso puts the Wildcats up, and they'll go for 2. As Gasso is under center. Here's Naps. Up the middle, follows his blocks. Extends the ball. No signal yet. There it is. 2 points for the Wildcats. Brody Naps into the end zone to put Central up by 6 with 1 minute, 45 seconds to play in regulation. It's Central 34, Denham Springs 28 as the Wildcats one stop away from victory. We'll take a small break and be back after this. You're watching the Wildcats Network. Max Gasso finds Marcus Watson for his second touchdown reception of the game. I believe that's now 3 touchdown passes for Max Gasso, who puts his team on top with 1 minute, 45 seconds to play in this A-Meet River rivalry. And just like that, the momentum swings back to the visitors' side. But lots of time left for the Yellow Jackets, who have 2 timeouts left with 1:45 on the clock. There's the signal from De Sousa Costa, who has it on the tee, and Pedro puts it in the air. Short kick will be fielded at the 27-yard line, and that worked out well for Central, as Trey Seals had to catch it drifting towards the sideline, and now some chippiness after the play. No penalty thrown just yet, and you got to keep your emotions in check. Looks like there was a flag thrown, and not sure what they'll call here. We were just talking over the break about the emotions in this rivalry game. These two teams separated, these two schools, I should say, separated by just miles. They've played each other 76 times. So much tradition, so much passion in this rivalry. And still not sure what they called. 1st and 10, Denham Springs, however. They'll spot it at the 35-yard line, so a 15-yard penalty was not called. I thought that was the case, but it is Denham Springs football. 1st and 10, Yellow Jackets from their own 35. DeJean Goldman has had a whale of an effort for Denham Springs tonight. 3 touchdown passes and 1 on the ground for 4 total TDs. And Denham Springs fans hoping Goldman has one more in him. He's in the shotgun by himself. 5 receivers on the field. Looked like some pre-snap movement. No penalty. And Goldman's pass is incomplete at the 40-yard line in between the hashes. He was trying to hit his brother DeShawn Goldman. Nice coverage by the Wildcats on the play to bring up 2nd and 10. On their feet on the central side of the stands and getting rowdy. 2nd and 10, Denham Springs from their own 35. DeJean Goldman in the shotgun by himself. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right side. And a timeout called by Central. Interesting decision there as Coach Simino called it himself, it appeared. And that'll stop the clock with 1:45 left in the game. What a game here tonight between Central and Denham Springs in this 77th edition of the A-Meet River rivalry. Both teams looking to move to 2-0 on the season, as Denham Springs was dominant in their victory, 34-6 over Hammond last week. Central fought a little bit harder, or had to, in their first win of the season against De La Salle last week, 20-13. The story of this game has certainly been Max Gasso coming in as Ja'Cory Platt got the start. Wasn't playing bad per se, but Gasso comes in and has lit up the Yellow Jackets for 3 touchdown passes. And he's surely approaching 200 yards in the game. As out of the timeout, it's 2nd and 10 for Denham Springs. Still lots of time for the Yellow Jackets with 1:42 on the clock. 34-28. Central leads by 6. DeJon Goldman in the shotgun by himself. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Here's Goldman. Bat to throw. A clean pocket, a deep pass. Middle of the field, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Marvin Joseph, who was a step in front of Matthew Duvall. And a little too much mustard on the pass from Goldman will bring up third down. 1 minute, 36 seconds to play. Central 34, Denham Springs 28, 3rd and 10 Yellow Jackets. They break the huddle with Goldman in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left side, 2 to the right side. Here's the snap. Here comes the Central blitz. Goldman under pressure, lets it go, and it's fumbled. He's dropped the ball at the 30, and the Wildcats are on top of it at the 28-yard line. Devin Reed comes away with the football as there's a flag down after the play, after the fumble recovery. But Goldman was rolling out, trying to get off a throw. The ball slips out of his hands, and big Devin Reed is on it for the Wildcats. We'll check the penalty. But as it stands, it is Central football. Maybe on a celebration after. Dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct. Still first down Wildcats, however. The Wildcats defense comes up big as Goldman fumbles. And the Yellow Jackets only have 1 timeout left with 90 seconds showing on the clock. So a first down would clinch it for Central. And ball security has to be at a premium here. What an effort for Devin Reed here tonight. We've said his name throughout the contest. Big plays on defense, including that fumble recovery to give the Wildcats the football back. 1st and 10 Central with 1 minute, 30 seconds to play. Max Gasso in the shotgun. Here's the snap. Hands off Rose up the middle. He's got a block. He cuts it to the left, and he gets away from a defender inside the Denham Springs 40 before he's taken down at the 39-yard line. The combination of Angel Moro and Washington take down Brown, and the Yellow Jackets use their final timeout with 1:21 remaining. A gain of about 5 for Shane Brown. What a job by the Central defense, who gave up some yards in this game but got the big stops when they needed it. And credit to DeJon Goldman. He really has left it all out on the field for Denham Springs. He's made some incredible plays outside the pocket. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes to his twin brother, DeShawn Goldman, and a 3rd touchdown pass to Brenton Paul. But it may not be enough as the Wildcats 6 yards away from victory with 1:21 to play. A first down will seal it for Central. And they might not even need to. Victory formation as Gasso will take a knee. That'll bleed 40 seconds at least off the clock. In real time, there are 35 seconds left on the play clock, 1:11 left on the game clock. So my mathematicians out there could tell me it's about a 36-second difference. And Central may only have to snap it one more time. This was a physical game, as both teams had a lot of players cramping and shaken up. That's the case again here, as Caden Shows is receiving medical attention at the 45-yard line. And they'll check on him. How about Max Gasso tonight? Excellent effort for Central. As it sits, he has completed 9 out of 20 passes for 198 yards. What an effort by Gasso, as they're still checking on the injured player here. Trying to get a sight line. I believe that was Caden Shows. And the Central O-line should definitely take a bow. We're not able to break the big gainers, but got some key runs, some key first downs here down the stretch of the fourth quarter. And the big uglies, Caleb LeBourgeois, Graham Harris, and the rest certainly deserve a lot of credit here tonight. As Big 54 is on his feet, Caden shows. Getting some help from the coaching staff and walking back towards the Wildcat sideline to a huge round of applause from his teammates and his contemporaries. What a game here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium, a back-and-forth affair that saw Central take a lead with under 2 minutes to play on the big touchdown pass from Max Gasso to Marcus Watson. And both of those guys certainly made their presence felt here tonight and will be fixtures for this football team going forward. Gasso in the game to kneel one more time with 34 seconds to play. What an effort by number 3 tonight. The shotgun snap by Max lets a few seconds go off the clock, and he takes a knee. And that'll do it. The Wildcats have won the 77th edition of the A-Meat River Rivalry, as the trophy will stay on Central's side of the river. The final score from Yellow Jacket Stadium at Central 34, Denham Springs 28. Zeros on the clock as both teams are out for the midfield handshake. Give a lot of credit to Coach Brett Beard and his crew tonight. They showed a lot of fight. They showed a lot of heart. They were mere minutes away from an upset. But Max Gasso makes the big play on the touchdown pass to Marcus Watson. And the Wildcats escape with a victory here in Livingston Parish. What a football game. As the Wildcats move to 2-0 on this young season. Meanwhile, Denham Springs drops to 1-1. So season opening victories for the Wildcats last week against De La Salle, and tonight against their rival Denham Springs. They prepare to visit Walker next week. That'll do it from us here inside of Yellow Jacket Stadium. Apologize for the technical difficulties, but I do want to give our entire crew a lot of credit. We made the best out of it tonight. We had a great broadcast, and I hope you enjoyed watching us here tonight on YouTube. Excellent job by the production staff, as always. That'll do it for us, for our director, Tyler Watts, and for our wonderful crew. I am Mario Jerez saying good night from Yellow Jackets Stadium. One more time, the final score, Central 34, Denham Springs 28. Thank you for watching Wildcats football.